In November 2007, Carter the Unstoppable Sex Machine reformed to play a one-off gig at the Brixton Academy. 1 year later, they're doing it again. Hi, I'm Danny Wallace, and I caught up with Jim Bob and Fruitbat earlier today in Crystal Palace, rehearsing ahead of the next gig. Jim, Carter USM, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you had to punch someone from the telly in front of the nation's youth again, who would it be now?
You're
Oh, it's Boris Johnson at the moment, just because it would big splash in the news if I did that, I think.
But really? Did you hit him? Isn't that sort of...
Oh, bundle him.
Oh, yeah, maybe a bundling, yeah.
Yeah, in a rugby kind of public score kind of way, you know, you'd like that.
I'm guessing much of your crowd aren't really quite as light on their feet as they used to be, is that right?
Yeah, but they don't know it.
Fat, you mean?
They still think they still think they can do it, and yeah, it's.
I think it's all right when they go up. It's the coming down again. I think it's the bit that scares people.
See any faces you recognise from the old days on the road? Any fans still up at the front?
All of them.
Yeah.
I looked down at the front row at Brixton, definitely. I looked down and I think I knew the names of everyone in the first two rows.
I didn't know anyone's name, but
I did.
That must mean a lot to you, having sort of loyal fan base like that. You know, still there.
Yeah.
As long as they come back every 10 years to come and see us. That's cool.
That is the downside. Is the way they just sort of they were there. Without being nasty, they were there because I appreciate them all being there. They're not always there, you know, sort of in the interim. Like when I'm doing a gig on my own, or when Les is doing a gig with Abdi Japarov, there isn't necessarily 5,000 people there that we recognise. No. So they're not that loyal.
There's usually 5 people.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, proper loyal fans who come and see our other bands as well.
Carter USM is among the most influential bands of the last 20 years. Discuss.
20 years? Well, that's pretty impressive considering we weren't together for 10 of them. I agree, absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's very sort of, you know, secret though. People aren't sort of people. I think
people don't like to admit that they've been influenced.
Particularly people in sort of famous bands tend to only admit it when they're drunk.
But when you do sort of hear it and recognise it, you must feel some element of, you know, secret pride even, or...
Yeah, and I prefer it when I don't recognise it as well, and then people say it. If you know, like, I'm going to name the same old people, but you know, like Franz Ferdinand or who
I
else?
can't remember the name of that
Art
band.
Brut, people who I don't really think. Obviously, those two bands don't sound anything like Carter, but they were fans,
yeah.
when yeah. Whereas if I'd be less excited by two blokes with loud guitars and a tape machine that singing songs about South London with a sort of political edge with puns. And there are bands like that, but that's sort of less flattering in a way.
Which is better, Jim's pantomime or Les's musical?
Jim's pantomime because he didn't write it. Wrote the music though.
I wrote two of the songs. I think the fact that mine was on for like 63 performances at the Barbican Theatre, and Les's did one performance at the Bull and Gate speaks for itself.
Mine's way better. Good head horse.
I don't know. Well, Les's hasn't been made, so
No.
if it gets made, then we'll be able to answer that
It's
question.
already been, I think it's been 12 years in the making so far, so it's going to be brilliant when it's actually finished.
Yeah.
Jim, your last solo album was half album, half book. What will be the literature to rock ratio on your next project?
Oh, funny you should say that. It would just be music. No, it'll be part comic, but quite a small part comic. But there will be a comic element. I find everything I do now is sort of influenced by writing fiction, or you see what I mean. I can't just write songs anymore, so I've become a bit of a twat.
Husband don't know what he's done. Kids don't know what's wrong with mum. She can't say, they can't see. Putting it down to another bad day. Daddy don't know what he's done. Kids don't know what's wrong with mum. So this is how it feels to be lonely. This is how it feels to be small. This is how it feels when your word means nothing at all.
Les, when you get back on the drink at Brixton, who the hell is going to carry you home?
I don't know, I did alright last time. I'm hoping that I'll be, I don't know, as resilient as last, because I was still going at 5:30 in the morning and I carried myself home quite nicely and I remember all of it.
What's your favourite thing that you've done that isn't Carter?
Well, Abdu, I suppose. That's my more favourite thing than Carter, so...
Right, that's it. If your arm wasn't in the way, I would have stormed out.
Yeah, that's more, I mean, because that's what I do, that's my current thing, so I'm enjoying that more.
Well, with me, it's everything new that I do. So like when I had a book published, that was like amazing. Sort of just, it was like having a first record out. That's the thing. I think when you've done lots of albums, however much you like them, it's just another album. Because you mentioned the pantomime, and that was like, when I think of that, the fact that having two songs in a big sort of pantomime was it still doesn't seem quite real to me. I think because it was gone, because it sort of happened. All those sort of performances, and then that's it. There's no
record or anything.
No, there's no sort of recording of it. It's a bit weird. And then going and watching it, like sort of with 3,000 kids singing along and that, and all these professional actors and actresses singing your songs, very sort of very weird. How did it feel for you, them singing your song?
Do you think the recession will be any good for the culture of Britain?
Usually is, isn't it? Hard times are usually good for art.
When was punk? Did punk come out of a recession? I suppose
Yeah.
it was Labour government.
It was in terrible strikes everywhere.
Yeah, who knows? Don't know. It's because music seems to be very well. Sort of rock music's very. It's all about career these days, isn't it? It seems to be. So I suppose the fact that that everyone sort of works out their career and how they're going to make money and what they get the right thing to do and how to market things and use the internet and all that bollocks, then presumably, if there's some sort of credit crunch where they're not making so much money, presumably all those people like Scouting for Girls and all those sort of bands. Well, it's the only one I know. It's the only band I've heard of. I've mentioned it twice now. They'll all just go away, and all the the music will be handed back to the people from the streets.
Would you like to take this opportunity to back McCain and Palin?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
Stab him in the back.
Don't say that. Some bloke up where I live in Crystal Palace had a Obama T-shirt on, and he ended up in a racist argument and got shot in the face with an air pistol.
Yeah.
No point to that.
I thought it was going to be...
So imagine what it's going to be like in America.
After this gig, will you say never again?
That's something else we haven't
We haven't
discussed.
talked about it.
I thought,
I change my mind on a daily basis about that.
yeah. I think we probably both know how we feel, but we haven't talked about it because it might interfere with these gigs if we fall out just before them.
Yeah.
Because we probably don't agree, or we probably don't agree exactly, do we?
No.
Well,
We never have done.
No,
It's
so-
not going to start now.
So we
said it was
we
the
said
last one
we
ever.
would definitely never ever do it again, and it sort of pissed a few people off, saying that they came along thinking it would be just a bit stupid thing
I
to
feel
do.
cheated. I came along and it was the best gig I've
Yeah.
ever been to in my whole life. I feel cheated.
Yeah, it was as though we should have gone outside and shot ourselves in the head afterwards, just to make sure we'd never do it again or change our minds. So to avoid that happening again, it's probably best to say that we don't actually know.
So, gents, to finish up, on the whole, is life fair?
My life's pretty good. I don't know about fair. It's not fair for everyone, is it? It's pretty fair for me.
No.
No, it's not
Yeah.
for you.
No, yeah, it is. No, I'm so, just because probably both are so much older that we're really tolerant of things that we didn't used to be tolerant of. So I used to get wound up by everything, I remember doing whole interviews about them adding a saxophone solo to the theme tune from EastEnders, and I remember being really seriously seething with anger about it. Whereas now I just sort of accept that as that's just one of those things, So yeah, I've got a very sort of settled down.
Jim and Les, Cartier SM, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Danny Wallace, thank you very much. How did Dave feel? Gorman.
Well, no.
Your career sort of overtaking his when you were technically just his assistant.
Exactly, I was just in the background. No, he's doing very well for himself. He's not in Hollywood. Say that though.
No, that's what I mean.
Like what I am.
Yeah.